Imagine this. A man wakes up one morning to discover he has become a monstrous insect. His first thought isn't one of existential terror, but of pure professional anxiety. How am I going to get to work like this? This is the mind that created that scene. This is Franz Kafka. If you've written him off as some gloomy figure from a bygone century scribbling depressing novels in a basement, you're missing the point entirely. In a way, Kafka was Gen Z before Gen Z existed. He practically invented the modern vibe of alienation and absurd pressure. Give me a few minutes and I'll introduce you to the real Kafka. Let's start at the beginning. Kafka was born a sensitive child, and in the shadow of his father, he never felt he outgrew it. His father was a self-made businessman, a towering alpha male who had clawed his way up from nothing. He was big, assertive, and expected his son to be a carbon copy. Little Franz, however, was a shy, quiet boy who preferred books to business. His father saw this sensitivity not as a gift, but as a defect. Franz grew up with a crushing sense of inadequacy, perpetually seeking a validation from his father that would never come. He tried to compensate by excelling academically, earning a place at a prestigious university to study chemistry, but his father dismissed it. Chemistry? Useless. You should have studied law. You could have helped with the family business, become a man for once. Hungry for approval, Kafka switched his major. He became a lawyer, which is its own kind of horrifying metamorphosis, just with more paperwork and less chitin, and despised every bureaucratic second of it. He lived a double life, a 9-to-5 insurance drone living with his parents by day, and a writer by night, desperately trying to quiet the noise in his head. Then, one night in 1912, something clicked. In a single, feverish session, he wrote an entire story about a man named Gregor Samsa. Even before his exoskeletal upgrade, Gregor's life was no highlight reel. He was a traveling salesman, a human grindstone whose entire existence was dedicated to funding his family's lifestyle and paying off a mysterious debt his father had accrued. His reality was the original doing it for the gram, except the gram was his family's ever-present disapproval. Sound familiar? Replace textiles with going viral or mastering a side hustle, and Gregor's predicament feels unnervingly current. Then comes the glitch in the matrix, the ultimate "this wasn't on the syllabus" moment. Gregor wakes up as a giant insect, and his brain, ever the loyal employee, immediately defaults to panic mode. I'm going to be late. My boss is going to tear me apart in the group chat. It's a classic depiction of being trapped in a system so illogical that waking up as a bug feels almost like a lateral move. The family's reaction is less, our beloved Gregor, what's happened, and more, who's going to pay the bills. His father is immediately hostile. His sister Gret is initially the sympathetic one, sliding him stale breadcrumbs like a thinking of you text to someone who is clearly spiraling. But even her compassion has an expiration date, like a forgotten avocado in the back of the fridge. The arrival of the chief clerk is the ultimate embodiment of corporate indifference. He doesn't care about Gregor's slight indisposition. He just wants to know about the quarterly reports. Your personal struggles are irrelevant. The only metric that matters is your productivity. Kafka, who sacrificed his passion for a law career he loathed, knew this pressure intimately. The entire situation is a masterclass in Gen Z nihilism. The world is absurd, life is a struggle, and the only constant is the crushing weight of expectation. It brings to mind a classic bit of dark humor. My boss told me to have a good day, so I went home. Gregor Samsa would have understood. Just as Kafka felt like an outsider everywhere, a German-speaking Jew in Czech Prague belonging to no single group, Gregor becomes a true alien in his own home. This profound sense of alienation resonates powerfully today. We are hyper-connected digitally, yet studies show we are lonelier than ever. But to paint Kafka as only a chronicler of despair is to miss the profound tenderness he was capable of. There's a story from his later years when he was living in Berlin. Walking through a park, he came across a little girl sobbing her heart out. He asked her what was wrong, and she told him she had lost her favorite doll. Instead of offering simple platitudes, Kafka spun a tale. He told her the doll wasn't lost, but was away traveling the world, and that he, being a doll postman, could deliver its letters to her. For 3 weeks, Kafka met the little girl in the park and read her letters he had painstakingly written the night before, filled with the doll's grand adventures in foreign lands. Finally, he had the doll marry and brought the girl a new doll as a wedding present. When the girl noted it looked nothing like her old one, Kafka read her a final letter in which the doll explained, "My travels have changed me." This wasn't just a sweet gesture, it was Kafka in microcosm. He understood that we cope with absurd loss by creating new stories, by reframing our realities to make them bearable. It was an act of profound empathy from a man who spent his life feeling misunderstood. Kafka's personal life was similarly fraught. Haunted by his relationship with his father, he was terrified of commitment. He got engaged, broke it off, got engaged again to the same woman, and ultimately ended things for good. His health spiraled, and he was diagnosed with tuberculosis. Yet, in his final years, he met Dora Diamant, a woman who loved him unconditionally. It is a small comfort that Kafka, after a lifetime of feeling inadequate, finally experienced genuine love before his death at the age of 40. He ultimately starved because the tuberculosis in his larynx made it too painful to eat. And here is the final plot twist. On his deathbed, Kafka made his best friend, Max Brod, promise to burn everything he had ever written, every unpublished novel, story, and diary. Max readily agreed. Then, after Kafka died, he ignored his friend's dying wish and published it all. We only know Kafka as a literary titan because his best friend betrayed him. Max believed his friend's genius was too important to disappear into ash. In doing so, he saved the older brother GenZ never knew it had.